Kathy here from Kathy's Cute Creations. Today we're going to do the cotton cuts. Let me get it out of the package here. This is the 6th block that we're doing. We have block of the month, Arkansas Snowflake. That's what it looks like. This is the Puzzle Mystery 2018, this way and that. I got the small one. So it looks like we've got a rectangle, triangles, and a square this time. That's all of our pieces for this month. Doesn't look like it's going to be too long to make that. So we'll just go over here to the sewing machine and we'll get started. My color wave. And we're using number 1 and number 2, which is those top 2 right there. That's all we got today is the top 2 colors. Is we are making, looks like flying geese. We're taking our number 2, which is this one, and attaching it to our number 1 on both sides. And this is where it's cut on the bias, so it's got a bit of stretch right here. So remember now, you can do a couple of things. You can do a lot of pinning. You can starch it. Remember now, starching will make it stiff. You could put a stabilizer on it if you wanted to also. It's just up to you what you want to do. I'm just going to pin it. Alrighty, so I'm using a 12-inch needle for my standard needle. 2.5 inches. And I'm using this Pincushion. Let's see if I can go ahead and, well, I've already lost another piece. What the heck happened to it? I wonder where it went. Oh, I thought I had 2 pieces out here. Not attached to everything. So I'm missing a triangle. And I looked up underneath my sewing machine, and how the heck did it get up underneath there? See, that's what I mean when anything can happen when I'm sewing, because that's just crazy. It couldn't even got up there. It had to have slid down the crack of this thing right here in order to end up underneath that. Lordy, all right, now that I retrieve that piece of runaway fabric. Let's see here. I can do it again. Oh my goodness. People don't believe the things that happen to me. This is what happens. These kind of things. Crazy things. If I could just win the lottery. Because that'd be crazy too. Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish sewing these. Like that. Come up the other side. If you guys are following along and you're doing the same project, because I know this is have to be boring just to constantly watch me do this. So go ahead and do yours, and then we'll get the other side pinned. Alrighty, now we're back, and don't forget, you want to go ahead, set your seams, iron this. Let me fix that a little bit here so you can see it better, so that it lays down there better. Because when that seam is ironed, then this one's going to go over the top of it. And you can test this, which is what I did, is I took my pen, I laid it this way as if it had a stitch in it, and then I rolled it like this, so I could see that that's going to go across there and be correct. And then I got a 1/4 inch right there, which is the seam for the pieces put together. So let me go ahead and pin it again. Okay. And then my little, I can either turn it this way, because my little flap, you don't want that to get caught up underneath there. I don't think it will. We're going to see here. Let me lay it down. I can always back up, and if it gets caught, then I'll stop and we'll go the other direction next time around. Let's just see. Because I didn't actually put my, needle on it. Let's see here. I don't think it got caught. Let me have that foot lift up. Alrighty. Take a look at it here in a second. I don't think it did. No, it didn't. Okay. Boy, I really like this little arm pincushion. Ooh, this is a nice one. Beats out my little one that I had. I think I got mine at Joann's, but the disadvantage was I never put a piece in the bottom of it. It goes up against your wrist, and if you put the pin in too far, you actually stuck yourself. That was the only disadvantage. I could have put a piece of cardboard or something up underneath it, but I just never got around to doing it. I don't like to buy stuff and have to go and fix it as soon as I've bought it. I don't like that. I mean, I've done it a lot of times, but now it seems like you do it more often than not. Almost everybody has to know how to sew something, or needs to know somebody that sews something. So when they get something and the darn seam's already loose on it, you can get somebody to fix it for you. Go ahead and finish these up, and then we're back for the next step. The first one done is going to look like this. The large number 1 is on the left hand side. This is our flying geese. Our number 1, not number 1, I'm sorry. Our number 2, our long strip, and our small strip. That's the first thing we're done. Now, it says to, and this is, we're going to do 2 of these like this, and they're labeled G1 and G2. So we're just going to repeat the process. So we're going to put this little square, which is fabric 1, on this side. Then we're going to put the long one, which goes at the bottom. Put that aside here. So we're going to put that together right here. We're going to put this together. And then we're going to put this one here. And then this one here. Whoops, as I dropped it on the floor. Let's get another one here. And then we'll have 2 of those. And then we're going to do something different with the other 2. There. And I know this says to sew this askant, but I'll tell you, to get my pieces to work, they're 1/4 inch. They are not askant. All right, let's see here. And you can tell when you lay this down if this bottom strip will match. And see, it does. So let me go ahead and iron this piece here. So when you're putting these together, these, I want to call them pre-cut, you always want to put your first one, whatever square it is that you're making, if you're going to be repeating pieces, you always want to put one together first to make sure that all the pieces fit. Because if you don't, the next thing you know, when you get done, the entire set will be wrong. Because I know the directions on here, they say to sew this a scant 1/4 inch. But a scant 1/4 inch ends up being too big. Because I took the first one out when I made it. When I put the flying geese and this end over here, the 2-inch square, or I mean the number 2, excuse me. When I put that together, this piece right here that I'm sewing on right now would not fit. It was too small because I did a scant 1/4 inch instead of doing the whole entire 1/4 inch. And hopefully this will work. We're going to see it here in a minute. So see, that one works fine. And then you're going to attach this on the left, on the right side, and the other one on the left. But let me go ahead and iron this first. And if you're unsure of your 1/4 inch based on your sewing machine, go ahead and use a friction pin and mark it. You can use that, a pencil, whatever you want to mark it. Because some people might think, well, a pencil will ruin it. Well, actually, you're going to be sewing over the top of that pencil lead, so it's not like you're going to ruin it. You're not going to see it. Just use a number 2 or a, I use just the mechanical pencils. Those are light enough. And after your quilt, blanket, whatever you're making, after you wash it enough times, that pencil will disappear. I got ink on something one time, and this is before the internet, so it's not like I could look it up and figure out what I was doing to get it off. But the believe it or not, I looked up, I don't know how I found the information. This was back in the 70s. I got ink on something. But do you know that it said to take Crisco shortening and rub it in and then wash it out? That the whatever's in the Crisco, now this was a long time ago, Crisco probably changed their recipe by now. Whatever was in the Crisco back when I was, oh brother, I did that wrong. Darn. Okay, so I grabbed the wrong piece, but when I'm done, I got it right. So we're grabbing the large is that a 4-inch square? No, that's a 5-inch. Whoops. Let's see. Yeah, that's a 5-inch. So our 5-inch square goes on the left here. On the left. And you note that it does fit now that it's all put together. And you're not supposed to be squaring up any of these pieces as you make them either. They say that you're supposed to do it at the very tail end to get them all to fit. And now we have two pieces like that. This one here we just finished. And this one here, back it up a little bit. So we have two pieces that are identical. I'm going to iron that end over there, and then we're going to get started on the next pieces. Now this time we're going to take our flying geese and we're going to put our 2.5-inch square on the left side of it. On the last one, we put it on the right side. Now we're putting them both on the left-hand side. So we'll pin that. Everybody got their Winter's Flurries fabric all cut up and ready to go for the next video? If not, you need to get working on that. And I do want to let you know that I did not have enough. If you read the directions on it, there is a green triangle. I don't have it right here in front of me, so I don't know which piece it is or anything. But it even tells you in the directions to be careful when you cut it. Well, I always square up my fabric, and when I squared up my fabric, it was one piece short because it wasn't enough. So I have some other green fabric, and I went ahead and cut it up to use with that fabric. So I think they make a star. So mine are going to look a little different because of the added fabric. But I always square up my fabric. So, I mean, there's no way I would have had enough anyway. And I guess maybe they didn't plan on you squaring up your fabric. I don't know. Let's see if I can get that started there. But just to give you the heads up on if you haven't cut yours up yet, be sure and read the directions. If you square your fabric up like I do, you won't have enough either. So be prepared to add your own. Now it's telling us to go ahead and add the long strips at the bottom. So that'll fit across the bottom like that. Yep, wait a minute. It goes like this at the bottom. There, I had it on the top by accident. Got to pay attention to which way the geese are going. So your new added square is on the left, and this goes across the bottom of it. The geese are going up or down, however you look at them. I look at this as the nose is geese. Go ahead and pin both of them up so we can sew them. Let me pin the two ends first. I'll show you here what I do. I pin both these in. Then I go to this part that has the seam. I pin that next. and then I pin in the middle here. And that's it. Okay, so why is that doing that? There we go. I almost didn't put that pin far enough in the corner there. Alright, now I'm going to iron this section. They look like that when they're finished. There's what they look like. And now the next is putting the sides on, and all we have left are these two little pieces here. Right here. And it goes on the left side and on the left side. So it is going next to the little square here. So you can keep them straight. And then we're going to label these H1 and H2. So let's go ahead and pin these. I've probably said this before. I didn't pick these colors. By the time I got to choose, after I found out about this program, the colors were already chosen. So this was like what was left over. But you know, this is pretty colors. So I don't mind that I got this. Now I did get to choose my colors the next time around. Which I thought was pretty nice. Let's get that started there. Okay, now I've got to be really careful right here where that seam is. So I'm going to hold my finger on it. Get up there. There we go. It did not flip on me. That's what my concern was, flipping. And then just go ahead and do your other one and we'll be done. Right, now we have two that look like each of these. I'm going to lay them out here so that you can take a look at them while they're side by side. All right, there we go. We have G1 and G2 on the left and H1 and H2 on the right. And I will put them up on the design board, which is getting pretty full, but they'll just be on top of another set. And I hope you like this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe and click on that little bell so that you get my notifications. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.